What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another Raw review from back in the olden days, as my grandpa would say. I'm just playing. He didn't speak any English, but if he did, that's probably what he would say. So today we are reviewing the May 31st, 1993 edition of Monday Night Raw, and Raw starts off with a Memorial Day message from Jim Duggan, who is the most American wrestler, so good there. It makes sense. So we get an opening match with the Intercontinental Champion Marty Jannetty with Sensational Sherry going up against Bam Bam Bigelow with Luna Vachon. And this match is for the Intercontinental Championship. Before anything is even said, Sherry attacks Luna. Marty holds her back and gets blindsided by Bigelow before the bell rings. Marty then tries to get back in it with some fast-paced action, but Bam Bam keeps slowing it down. Jannetty does have the in-ring skills, but his charisma was the only thing holding him back. I know he had personal problems as well, but in 1993, I don't think that would have hurt him professionally if he was bringing in the money. He didn't even have a look to stand him apart from others. As much as I shit on Doink and Damien Demento, even Crush or Lex Luger, they at least have a certain way about their character. And I can't really say that about Marty Jannetty. Maybe that's another reason why he wasn't pushed like his in-ring skills would have you to believe that he should be pushed. A flying clothesline from the second rope for a close fall. He keeps attacking, but Bigelow keeps getting up. Sherry grabs Bigelow's leg and he pulls her by her hair. Marty kicks him out and then hits a splash from the top rope to the outside. Bigelow sends Marty into the post and back into the ring, but he gets counted out because Sherry is distracting him. And I use that word loosely because he had more than enough time to get back into the ring and not get counted out. All he had to do was stick one foot in the ring and the count would have stopped. But anyways, he is pissed and attacks Marty and drops a senton on him. Then when everybody's out of the ring, Sensational Sherry calls out Luna Vachon, and after some pacing around and being held back by a referee, Sherry takes matters into her own hands and goes after her. Luna did come back out, by the way. Bam Bam Bigelow then comes back out and grabs Sherry from behind, and Luna comes in and gets some shots in on her until Tatanka comes out for the save. Chaos all over the place again with Sherry and Luna, and I'm liking all of it. I don't know how much I'll care if they actually have a match, but I am enjoying the build so far. The Steiner brothers up next to take on some jobbers, and of course they get the win. McMahon does mention that they are on their way to the King of the Ring, but doesn't tell us what they're going to be doing there. So in the next segment we get another match, and we do get a nice shot of the Raw girl getting out of the ring, but then that nice shot turns into Mr. Hughes' ass. A little bit for everyone, I guess, on this show. He's taking on some local guy. This time he's not accompanied by Harvey Whippleman. I think the crowd started to chant Hogan sucks. I'm not sure, but I could see that being the case because he hasn't shown up on Raw since he won the WWF title at WrestleMania back in April. And like I said, this is like the May 31st or something episode of Raw already. So he's missed 2 months of being anywhere near Monday Night Raw. Mr. Hughes gets the win and nobody cares. He doesn't have any music, which amplifies the lack of crowd involvement in his matches. They really need to do something with this guy or give him some music at least. So when his matches comes to an end, at least there's some kind of noise. Mr. America himself, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, comes out for a match. He picks up a victory. Afterwards, he brings in the flag of the US and asks the crowd to stand and pledge allegiance to America, which they do. And they go ahead and do that for the next however long the Pledge of Allegiance is. We then get an update on 1-2-3 Kids challenge from Razor Ramon. Take a listen.
Attention. 2 weeks ago, Razor Ramon was upset by a young man out of nowhere. From there, the following week, Razor Ramon offered that same young man $2,500 to get back into the ring with him. The kid says, no way. Learn that now. From there, this past weekend, Razor Ramon offered this young man $5,000. Can you imagine that? Just to get back into the ring with him. I'll take it. Yeah, I'm sure you would. We had an occasion to pick up these pre-recorded comments. Here now from the 1-2-3 Kid.
You know, it's good to be back on television talking to everyone. Notice I still got my Lucky Rod t-shirt on. You know, I was sitting back watching WWF with my grandma and grandpa, and I look on the television, there's Mr. Ramon. He's offering me $5,000. I can't believe it. He's offering me $5,000 to get back in the ring with him. You know, before it was $2,500. Now it's $5,000. And it's a really hard decision to make. But I just don't think I can accept the $5,000 knowing what could happen to me and knowing the consequences. I just can't accept it.
Alright, you heard it there. So the kid aka Sean Waltman, aka 123 Kid, playing the game. And he's playing it really well because it's gone up $25,000. It's up to 5 now. Keep denying it, I say, until he gets it as far as you think he's going to get it. Just keep denying it. He's probably going to get it up to 10,000 at least. So we'll see where that goes. Racer then comes out for a match and the jobber rolls him up and Ramon almost gets bamboozled again by this guy. Just like I got bamboozled by using that word. I've never used that ever in my life, but hey, why not? But obviously Racer picks up the win at the end with a nasty looking Racer's Edge. Tony Roy, I believe was his name. He took that move great. They tell us that Yokozuna has arrived at the Manhattan Center, and after a couple of breaks, he makes his way to the outside by the arena to get interviewed by Vince McMahon. Mr. Fuji comes out waving the Japanese flag, obviously not welcome here by the Americans. They hype up their match with Hogan at King of the Ring, and Yokozuna says that Hulkamania will die. Yokozuna is scheduled to be on King's Court with Jerry Lawler next week, and we get teased that Hulk Hogan might show up. Fuji says Yokozuna will be the next WWF champion, yada yada yada. Then Duggan on the second floor of the building is seen waving the US flag as Raw goes off the air. So that means that we are done as well with the review. Let's get to the awards. For best one, I think I'm going to give it to Sherry and Luna Vachon going at it, and then Bigelow and Tatanka obviously getting involved there as well. For the worst moment, I'm going to give that to Mr. Hughes getting no reaction to winning his match. I used to think there was nothing worse than getting Roman or Baron Corbin type of boos, but I think the only thing worse is getting Mr. Hughes types of reaction. For the worst match, I don't know if I should double down here. Just because it's a Memorial Day episode, Hacksaw's going to get a pass, and I'm going to give this worst match award to Mr. Hughes and the jobber that he faced. For the best match, I only have one non-enhancement match to pick from, so I'm going to give it to Marty Jannetty and Bam Bam Bigelow. For the wackest performer, I think I'm going to give that to, I think I'm giving him the three-peat here. Mr. Hughes will get the wackest because there was no reason for him to be on the show. Sure, the Steiners also didn't have a reason to be there, but at least they have some good moves in the ring, and they're actually over. For the standout performer, nobody really did enough to stand out, per se. Sherry and Luna are delivering where I expect them to be. Racer Ramon didn't really show as much in his match that we haven't seen before, and the same with the Steiners. So I think I'm going to give it to Marty Jannetty. He actually impressed me with some of the moves that he did in the ring. Alright, so for this episode, I'm going to give it a passing grade with a C-, just barely being good. A ton of filler and some segments that I thought could have done way more. Kind of just kept whatever the feud or storyline where it was already. So looking at our tallies, we still have that one great show. The bad Raws are going to stay at 6, and this episode moves the good shows to 12. So again, the tally is now 12, 6, and 1. Not bad, but I really need people that can actually talk to be on the mic, and then matches that actually mean and that are actually competitive. Enough with these jobber matches already. Because sooner or later I'm going to get tired of this type of show, and the barely passing shows are going to get bad grades. So, and if they do get those bad grades, I am the be all end all, so they won't want to get on my bad side. And you don't have to agree with me, but I'm just stating the facts every time that I give you my opinion. So you don't have to like it, you just got to learn to love it. And with that being said, I'm done and I'm out.